So why is conflict so important, though? Why is conflict so important? By the way, I'll have some leaders tell me, listen, Pat, I don't really care if people get their feelings hurt. What I don't want is to waste time. See, they'll say, it just takes too much time. Why should we debate this decision for the next 2 hours? After all, I've been in charge for a long time. I know what we should do. Why don't I just make the decision without engaging in conflict? And I'll save them 2 hours. I'll be their hero. They can go do email or something else. Well, the reason why that's a problem is because it takes us to the next thing that we have to overcome to make our teams great. We have to go from conflict to commitment. You see, the next thing we have to embrace is we have to get our teams to commit to decisions without reservation. And the only way to do that is with conflict. You see, if I make a decision for my team and they haven't weighed in on that decision, they're not going to buy into that decision. Let me repeat that. If people don't weigh in on a decision, they're not going to buy in. Now, that is not an argument for consensus, because I don't believe in consensus. I think that's a 4-letter word. If we wait for consensus, if we wait until people all agree on a decision, we're going to make decisions that are too slow, too late, and probably equally dissatisfying for everyone. What I believe what we have to do is have conflict so that people, when they weigh in, even if their idea didn't get adopted, they will buy in. I once worked with the leadership team of a company, and something very interesting and painful happened there. They were in a difficult time in their business, and so they realized that their revenue was going down, but they were still hiring a lot of people. And they got together as a leadership team, and they said, we have to do a hiring freeze. And this was a team that didn't engage in conflict very much, and so they said, so there's a hiring freeze starting tomorrow. All our open recs are closed, and no more new hires. So everybody nodded their head and said, yeah. So they left. The head of HR went out, and within 2 hours of the meeting, she sent out a note to everyone in the organization saying, starting tomorrow, there's a hiring freeze. Everybody has to put everything on hold. 2 of the executives were in her office within 10 minutes of that note going out saying, it didn't apply to sales, did it? Another person's like, you didn't mean engineering. And suddenly they were all having to go back and try to correct it in the organization, and they felt like fools. The point of the matter is, in their meeting, when they made this decision, nobody bothered to argue and say, I don't think I should have to live with that. They decided, oh, let's just get out of this meeting. And then the rest of the organization looked at this team and said, they can't even have a discussion and arrive at a commitment and send out an email to the whole organization without making themselves look dysfunctional. That's why it's so important that we arrive at commitments, and the only way to do that is if we engage in conflict.